If you're in the business of getting in the self-storage business, then you're in the business of putting cash, money into self-storage deals. Let's talk about that. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Self-Storage Quick Start Academy. And what I do is I support the small investor who wants to get in the self-storage business or who wants to strategically grow their self-storage business, do so in a way that creates true wealth in a fulfilling career. And we're talking about the skill sets it takes to be successful and getting in the self-storage business today. I was fortunate enough to write an article for Inside Self-Storage. And you can click at the link in this training or go to episode 178 at creatingwealththroughselfstorage.com to read the full article. But one of the skill sets it takes is the ability to put cash, money, into the self-storage deals. Now, I know this sounds elementary and simple, but I've seen it trip a lot of people up. Now, if you have cash, money sitting there, great. That's fantastic. I sure didn't, but that's great. If you're coming out of the sale of another piece of property with some cash to invest and you're doing a 1031, awesome. Remember, we talked about it last week, use loans, use leverage in a way that will support getting the highest return at the lowest risk. In other words, if you're in a deal, let's say with $2 million worth of cash, or boot as they call it, and you've got $3 million worth of debt, and you want a 1031 or exchange that into a self-storage project and defer your capital gains. I hate tax-free exchanges because they're not. You're deferring the capital gain. It may be better than to buy one $5 million facility with $2 million cash and $3 million debt. Maybe you buy 2 or 3 facilities and spread that cash and that debt over those number of properties to spread your risk and perhaps enhance your return. So if you've got the cash ready to invest, awesome. Many of the people I work with, and myself included when I got started, we don't have the cash. So if you don't have the money to invest and you want to get in the self-storage business, how do you do it? Well, here's the simple answer. You talk to people who do have money and want to invest in self-storage. So here's the $1 million question, literally the $1 million question. Where are those people? Well, there's a number of ways to find them. There's courses on how to do that. If you all are interested, I could put a course together to show you what I and other people I've worked with, how we've done it. But basically, when I first got started, I did not know a lot of people with a lot of money. I knew some. Some were my clients. But basically what I did was I looked for people who were successful at whatever they did. You owned a commercial real estate company. I may have known you and I would have presented an opportunity to you. If you were a client of mine and you looked and appeared to be successful, I showed you my opportunity. I literally showed it to everybody who even appeared to be successful at what they were doing and who would sit down and listen to me. And what happened is I got better and I got better at presenting the self-storage opportunities when I first got started. It's not a fun way to go. You end up getting a lot of money in at low amounts. I can't tell you how many times in the initial days I would take $10,000, $25,000 as I was raising 25% of a $2 or $3 million deal. And I'd have some LLCs or partnerships with 17 to 20 partners. But I did what it took to get going in the business. What changed for me was finding someone who knew people with money, who ran in different circles in country clubs I wasn't in, and who also wanted to grow the self-storage business with me. I was fortunate enough to actually, literally, I presented as an opportunity to invest a deal, and this couple that I knew did not want to invest. What they wanted to do was partner with me, and they could help me find people with money, and they had some experience in self-storage, and they wanted to partner with me, and ultimately they ended up running operations, and they have helped me grow this business tremendously. They're the ones that sign on the loans with me. They're the ones that got the vision, and we modified it, created it together, and now they're enrolled in creating a self-storage future. And they were the ones that introduced me to a lot of their acquaintances that were much higher net worth than the people I knew. A whole new world of potential investors opened up to me by doing this. Yes, I had to give something up. Yes, I had to give up some of my ownership. But something became possible that wasn't possible before, and we really began to grow our company. Many of those investors are our friends. They've mentored me, and I cannot tell you how enriched my world is, and learning what the people who have money to invest, what they have their attention on, and what they're looking for. And our company has grown. So my advice to you, if you're just getting started, look for people who appear to be successful at whatever they do. Be willing to sit down and show the opportunity. Now, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter how sophisticated a person is, whether they're the CEO of a publicly traded international company, or they're someone who just has $25,000 to invest. It really doesn't matter. What people relate to are stories. When you're presenting your opportunity, yes, it's great to talk about the numbers and to talk about the returns, but what people relate to is a story. And as you're presenting your opportunity to the bank, to the partners, to investors, what you're telling is a compelling story that addresses what the concerns are that an investor or a banker or a partner would have in doing business with you. And if you can tell a compelling story that someone can relate to, that inspires people and gets them to want to play the same game that you're playing, you'll have all the investment money that you need. Another thing is, if your first deal is done correctly, what happens is you will have people contacting you wanting to invest money. What I've discovered is in local areas, and I call it country club money, in the investment world and at a local level, people want to invest where their friends have invested. And once we had some investors and our first project or two became successful, all the people that were in that world knew those people contacted us and wanted to invest in the next project. And the initial investors, we pretty much have had every single project. And do the first one right, and you will have more money to invest than you may have deal flow to put it in. A great problem to have. Another route, one I'm not that familiar with, is creating a real estate fund. Now, there are people out there who specialize in this and have a lot more knowledge than I do. So far, I've never done that. I am exploring doing that. It's an exciting world. It opens up a whole nother world of investors and a whole nother way of running a business. And it can allow you to grow your business much faster, but it's a real specialized way to get investment money. Be sure, if you're considering it, to get a consultant who knows what they're doing and can advise you correctly. I've seen a number of people not be successful at starting a fund, or the fund is much slower than they wanted to do. My suggestion is, get in the business. If you're not in the business, even if you have success in another real estate investment type, get in the self-storage business, do a one-off deal, raise the money, individually, do a one-off deal, be in the business, be successful, get a track record, do one or two of those, then go explore putting a fund together. My guess is you'll have a lot more success with a track record talking to institutional investors than you will using that as your vehicle to get in the business. Just know that there are a lot of people out there that have money that they want to invest, and you are doing them a favor by presenting self-storage opportunities. No product type is safer to invest in than self-storage. Believe me, when investors who have money and they want to invest really get what self-storage is, they're hooked. Now the only thing they're looking at is you. Are you someone that I can trust with my money and who can effectively run a self-storage business? They're sold on self-storage once they get it. And even today, even in the 5 and 6 cap environment, you can still buy property, do value add plays, and generate above market returns that investors would be excited to put their money in. We and people I work with do it every day. These are the skill sets needed to do the value add play. There's no limit out there right now to the number of mom and pop small facilities that can be purchased, expanded, repositioned, and turned into more institutional investment grade self-storage. For the next decade, there's almost an endless supply. The vast majority of self-storage facilities in our country are just that. And they're going to hit the market in the next decade. And what's going to drive them to the market is not the economy and not the cap rates and not the local conditions. What's going to drive the majority of opportunities that small investors like us look for to the market are going to be a change in the life of the owners. And when something changes, they'll put their facility on the market, and then we can purchase them, pay more than we want, but do the value add play and bring in a investment grade piece of real estate, an investment grade self-storage project that investors or you and your partners or your family would want to put their money in. Remember, self-storage is one of the lowest foreclosed on assets there is. You are doing people a favor if you give them the opportunity to invest money in a solid self-storage real estate deal. So using debt to effectively enhance the returns is a skill set needed today, but also how to get cash, and if you have the cash, how to strategically invest the cash in perhaps more than one facility in a way that spreads your risk and enhances your return. And if you've got to raise money, just know you are raising money in the safest, best asset class that there is for people to put their money in. When's the best time to get in the self-storage business? Now. Why? The sooner you put a storage project into service, the sooner you're going to be creating true wealth in the most fantastic business there is, the self-storage business. Thank you very much. I look forward to being with you next week. My name's Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer. That is the financial analysis tool we use to look at the mom and pop projects and what will the future cash flows be, and what do I have to pay today to be able to generate the returns that I'm looking for or our investors are looking for. I don't know how we do it without the Storage World Analyzer. If you're not using it, explore it. StorageWorldAnalyzer.com or CreatingWealthThroughSelfStorage.com. Look at the Storage World Analyzer tab. Also, that's where all this training is housed. CreatingWealthThroughSelfStorage.com under Training, Blogs. Thank you very much. Look forward to being with you again soon.